And I always look back at like the past and stuff every now and then for fights. And I was talking to my boxing analyst the other day, and I said, you know, how do you feel about if Chino Medina was able to wear his gloves the first fight? Do you feel the fight would have went down differently than it did? How do you feel
Well, you
about
know
it?
what? I don't want to say that it would have been a different fight because Mayweather is very smart, very defensive, and he could take a really good punch. Also, he's been getting he got hit quite a few times by Chino. He got by Mosley, stunned him. De La Hoya landed some really good punches, and so Mayweather takes a good punch. But when the contract was made and the contract was signed, the contract said that each fighter chooses the pair of gloves that they want to wear if approved by the commission. So his gloves were approved, our gloves were approved, but when it came to after the weigh-ins, they we all go into a room to sign our gloves and select them, and Mayweather's team didn't didn't want to approve of the gloves that Maidana was going to wear. Then Mayweather came in and said, nope, he's not going to wear those. So basically, they forced us not to wear them, not to wear those gloves. But I don't want to say it would have been a different story, but I know my Dana would felt more comfortable, more secure because he was always wearing those gloves, and then out of a sudden, they make him wear something he's never wore before. So it did affect him mentally, you know. But maybe the same results would have happened. But I know that those gloves are the puncher's gloves, and all my fighters love to wear them because they are the puncher's gloves. So would have been the difference? Maybe, maybe not. I really don't know because Mayweather is just a very smart fighter.
Yeah, for sure. And looking back at those were like some of my favorite matches of Mayweather, and seeing how you work the fighter in the corner and what you were telling them, I was like, damn, dude, this dude's legit. I was like, man, I was like, that's Garcia right there.
You know what? When you prepare for a fight and you do the game plan,
Hmm.
you practice that in the gym. You tell your fighters what to try, what to do, what not to do. You have a game plan. But at the moment of the fight, we already did the training for 3 months, 2.5, 3 months. So the training has already done. The fighter already knows what the game plan is. So a lot of moments during the fights, you don't have to remind the fighter of the game plan because he already knows it. I think a lot of times the fighter needs the motivation, the speech, that voice in front of him telling him go out and do what you have to do, like motivate them. And that's what that's my system. In the corners, if my fighter is doing good, I talk to them the way I have to motivate them to to continue doing it, have fun, enjoy it, go out there and do what you're doing, but when I know somebody needs to be a little more encouraged, maybe I have to give him a little slap and wake him up a little and get mad at him. Or there's been times where I've reminded some of my fighters of their family, their kids. Do it for your kids, do it for your family, stuff like that. It's just depending on the fighter and depending on the fight, how the fight is going.
Yeah, for sure. And and also one of my all-time favorite fighters, is Antonio Margarito. How was training with him in his career?
You know what, Margarito always probably one of the most dedicated fighters that I've worked with. You know, in the past, because right now, Bam and Josh are so dedicated. Virgil Ortiz, even though I'm not working with him anymore, that kid is dedicated. So those are some that are very dedicated right now. But from the past, I think nobody as dedicated as Margarito, man. That guy used to come to the gym, train for 2 hours nonstop. Very very dedicated. The running in the morning, always up on time. I never had me knocking to his door to wake him up. He was always up. He was a very dedicated person, and until now, I still stay in touch with him. Until now, he still stays in shape. He still works out. He still he's still like in fighter shape, where most of the fighters after they retire, they gain 30, 40, 50 pounds and they get fat. Most of the fighters, but Margarito stays in shape. So, it was always a lot easier with him because I didn't have to worry about him not making weight or him not wanting to wake up to go run. So the camps were pretty easy with him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I probably get a little heat from that when I bring up Margarito to people. Like, I don't know why, but that's the past is the past. But like beyond me, like he's one of my favorite fighters of all time.
You know what, Margarito he was, like I told you, great dedication, but also a great person. And I know he's always going to be remembered as the fighter that cheated against Cotto or cheated against who knows how many fighters, because nobody knows. But I could personally tell you, I train him. There's there's a difference from a fighter that likes to cheat because he's not in good shape and he's not that good. So maybe there's fighters that might not be that good, and if you're fighting somebody like Mayweather, well, the only chance you could get to beat him is if you cheat, if you put something in your gloves, in your gauze or whatever. With Margarito, he was always in great shape, always in the best condition. So he didn't need to cheat to win a fight. The fight against Cotto, and everybody's always going to blame him for the fight against Cotto, but every time there's a championship fight, somebody from each camp goes to the opposite locker room to inspect the hand wraps. Yeah. So Cotto had somebody in Margarito's locker room when he was doing the hand wraps. So obviously that person, the commission who's always there looking at the hand wraps, they didn't see anything wrong. So they signed it off and they let it go. So obviously nothing illegal was there. Yeah. Because they were there. The commission was there. Cotto's team was there to see the hand wraps, and the commission signs the glove, signs them off and approves them. So where was that illegal thing that they're talking about? Then when it comes to the Mosley fight, Mosley's trainer at that time, I think rest in peace, can't think of his name right now, but he found something during the hand wrap. So that means maybe they did try to put something there. He still didn't use it because they made him they made him rewrap again, but he did catch it, So that means that when Margarito fought Cotto, inspector are there, like actually the commission is there, and the opposite team is also there. So they didn't see anything going on. They signed it off. They touch them. They inspect the gloves. They inspect the hand wraps, and everything went. Then they sign them off. So that means there was nothing there, So I hate to hear all that. Oh well, he cheated against Cotto. No, there's no way, because you're that. Then in that case, if you want to feel that if Cotto wants to blame Margarito for cheating, then you gotta say something to your person that you send over there to inspect it, because he allowed it.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
For
so
sure.
It's just common sense. The commission is there. The person from your opposite team is there. So if they allowed something like that, if they allowed a brick, and who won't see a brick if they're trying to put a brick?
For real.
So that's what I mean. So it was a legit win for Margarito. That a lot of people don't want to give him credit, but man, I'm telling you that there's no way they couldn't see a brick going into his hand.
Exactly. That's what I tell everybody too, and and a lot of people kind of hate me on that, but that's one thing I haven't brought up on my channel, is just because people are always like, oh, don't talk about him, don't talk about this, but I need to bring the facts out now, more now. And I'm glad to hear it from you. I really do appreciate that.
It's just a lot of people don't know, boxing fans, boxing people don't know that they won't allow us to start hand wraps until the inspector, the commission is there in front of us, and somebody from the opposite corner in our locker room to start Handwraps. They do not allow me to start unless they're there already. So when they're there, I show them. I have, I make my pad, my knuckle pads. I give it to them. They feel it, and they give it back to me. I get to work. They see everything that's going on. So why are people saying that Margarito put bricks, because that's the word that they used, bricks in his Handwraps in front of Cotto's team, in front of somebody from Cotto's team? That's just ridiculous. We always have somebody from the opposite corner inspecting our Handwraps. So a lot of people don't know that. That's why they believe, oh yeah, he had his Handwraps on, and he had bricks inside of his Handwraps. But no, there's somebody from the opposite corner inspecting every movement you do. So that's just, it's not reality.
Yeah, I understand for sure.
All the way, are we going out tonight? All the way, I'ma chug the bottle, chug it all the way. Made it this far.